At some point in the digital age of boss babes, new money, and ambitious rookies, we stopped consulting our village's wisest. Women have been the heartbeat of the world within their respective communities, workforces, and families since the dawn of time. They are the magic makers, the peacemakers, and the ass kickers. Let's celebrate them with the Matriarchy Party. Hey, everybody, it's Courtney. We're back. It's Matriarchy Party. You're listening. Thanks for being here. Today, we are so excited because we have a real bestie. And I'm going to make it really easy for you because her name is also Courtney. And that is Courtney McNulty. You may know her as McNerdy.
Hi. Yeah, that's going to stick with me forever, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be forever haunting you. So Courtney's from Rhode Island. She's been in LA now for 10 years. She's been working in entertainment for 10 plus years. We met on the dance floor at an entertainment after party after an award show. We were drinking tequila and we were like, your name is Courtney? My name is Courtney. What? Unbelievable. And she hasn't been able to get rid of me since. She is such a boss bitch. She is a lawyer, like for the biggest, if not, yeah, it's the biggest movie studio in the whole world of the planet.
So weird.
Basically Elle Woods of entertainment here. And she makes all these important decisions on all of these contracts, and she's just the one in charge. So take note, get your pencil out here.
Wow, really hyping me up.
And so I can't believe we've been besties really for 5 years now. We're both dog moms.
Yep.
We both love drinking cocktails on patios, treating ourselves just with little treats for morale, and sharing memes on Instagram incessantly.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that the foundation to any real friendship? Just memes back and forth?
Absolutely. If you're not, then what else? What is everybody else doing? I feel like that is an outstanding bio. I'm like, does that really paint a picture of your life?
It does.
I'm like, you're married, you have a really cool house.
Thank you.
No children. We can jump into that. Me neither. But here we go.
Here we are.
This is so exciting. Well, so we're here about the matriarchs in our lives. Tell me about your matriarch or matriarchs and your relationship to you.
Sure. Growing up, I'd say I had three matriarchs. I had my mother, who was very present in every aspect of my life. And then I also had my grandmother and my great aunt. So my mom, her mom, and her mom's aunt. And it was, this wonderful triumvirate of women that I had raising me. I mean, my dad's mom was in the picture too. But my mom's mom lived a couple houses down, so she was very much a bigger part of my life. So I was lucky. I had three women bossing me around.
So many moms caring for and probably rubbing off on you for your whole life.
100%.
And they're all luckily to be Earthside, so you still have an ongoing relationship, or?
My mom is, luckily, but my grandmother and my great aunt have passed.
Oh.
Yeah, not the best. Yeah, but it's okay. I got
I'm
mom.
glad your mom's here.
Yeah,
they
thank
know. Grandmas, they don't last forever.
No.
That's what I'm realizing.
I don't.
Any matriarch you have in your life that is still here, go call your mom, okay? Go call your grandma. If you
Go call your matriarch.
Go call your matriarch, exactly. Well, when we think of matriarch, the word, we think of a woman who's head of their family, tribe, or organization. When in your life do you feel like you had to demonstrate those traits, like maybe like where you had to forge a path for yourself or like really step up into the shoes that are Courtney McNulty?
I don't have children. I will never have children. So I don't feel like I will ever be a matriarch in the true sense of the word, ruling over a family. But I do have a lot of different groups of friends, and it's kind of fun to try to bring them together and be the quote unquote matriarchy. Like when I have these Galentine's Day parties, I have Galentine's Day at my house and I invite all of my girlfriends from all the different groups. And it's kind of fun to see them all there and mingling. And I guess in that sense, I do feel like a matriarch, like looking down at all of my friends celebrating together and having fun. But you asked, have I forged a path for myself or, taken on the role of matriarch? And I guess in a sense, I did. I moved 3,000 miles from Rhode Island to California.
It's far.
It is far. I didn't have any entertainment experience at all. I didn't have a day. I worked in a law firm. And I don't know what made me think I could move out to LA and work in entertainment.
We'll do it live. You figured it out.
I figured it out. I guess I really did forge my own path. My family's all back east. Well, my parents moved out here recently, but they were all back east. No one worked in entertainment, and I just kind of winged it, forged my own path, and that was pretty dope.
I mean, and I guess the rest is history here because you moved without really like a net of support physically. Of course, they were cheering you on from afar.
Yeah.
But since then now, most of the your parents have moved to LA.
Yeah, my parents live out here. It's awesome. Well, they live pretty close to LA, so it's been
not 3,000 miles.
No, exactly. It's been fun having them much closer.
Yeah.
Sure.
Who doesn't want the sunshine after years of, I know you were like, I want a brooding, rainy season with leaves that change. And we're like, it's 80 on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's more my style for sure.
Yeah. You can have both. Everything's a plane away. I love that. I resonate with the obviously not having human children thing. I think there are many ways to be a matriarch. I think women rule the world is the common theme you're going to be hearing on this pod. But I think there's so many ways, I think, just between like the groups that you have of friends, you have, like you said, your Galentine's, your parties you host, like you're still the glue in many ways. And I think leading in a different way. So maybe it's not the traditional quote unquote, like, oh, she has daughters and granddaughters one day and all these like lineage of the physical form. I think you're definitely a matriarch in your circles and with friends and family colleagues. So
good point. That's one thing that your podcast did teach. You don't have to be a stereotypical mother to be a matriarch. That's really cool.
You can be like, just, many ways to be a matriarch for sure. It sounds like, and we'll get into more about your matriarchs in the second part of this chat, but success is, or just accomplishing dreams and goals has been your driver.
Yeah.
Did you set out to do the role that you are in now? You knew exactly what you wanted in school, or, what was the success, whatever that means to you, and what were you after? And obviously it's still an ongoing thing. You haven't accomplished everything you surely have on your vision board.
I move my goalpost constantly. So I wanted to move out here and work in entertainment, and I did that. I got an assistant job answering phones for other lawyers, which was wildly humbling. So when I got here, check, moved to LA, work in entertainment, check. And then, success would be having that attorney role in a studio. And I got that. Okay, well now I would like to have an assistant. That's success to me. Okay, check. So, I'm always moving the goalpost for myself, and sometimes it feels, nothing's good enough for me. I want more. But I also think it's fun to challenge myself and keep going and changing my definition of success. It's how we grow.
Of course. Do you ever sit and like savor, like, fuck yeah, I did that, didn't I?
Yeah. The one time, 2 times actually, when I first worked in entertainment, I worked in TV. So when I saw my name on IMDb, I got an IMDb credit for one of the shows I worked on. That was so fun. It really was just assistant.
That's pretty magical though. Come on.
It is cool because, I moved from Rhode Island and everyone else wanted to be like a public defender or a prosecutor or, private practice. I'm like, I'm going to work in TV and movies. So to have an IMDb page that I could like link my friends to back home, that was wild.
You're like, hair flip. Yeah, I'm
casual.
Basically on set every day.
It was the most unglamorous thing in the entire world. No one knew how.
But a milestone nonetheless.
Oh, absolutely.
Come on.
And then you were there for the second one. I got teary-eyed when I saw my name in the end credits of a movie. Sitting in the movie theater at a premiere, and I saw my name and I started to tear up. It was unbelievable. It was just the coolest
I was so
moment.
happy to be your date to Blue Beetle, and although the SAG strike was happening at the time, so the actors couldn't promote their movie, which was such a bummer. But it was so great to see. There was a lot of celebration on their behalf, and it was just so magical to see the filmmakers there and celebrating with just a movie that means so much to so many. And me, like as like you're doing amazing, sweeties, momager, like videoing the end credits. I'm like, this is so cool. And a playbill on Broadway for
that was
Beetlejuice.
Weird. Yeah, that was weird. It's when I first started.
I'm humble bragging on your behalf.
No, I know.
I'm like, girl,
I forget about these things. Isn't that fucked up?
So many achievements.
No, it's not even that. It's because I just don't like, oh, that's really neat. What a cool thing. And then on to the next one,
Yeah, I know.
But I first started and I was helping out with our stage theater team. And I was helping out on Beetlejuice. And
maybe you've heard of it.
This little play called Beetlejuice. And I was actually able to fly to New York and go see it and get a playbill with my name in it. Unreal. It's just the weirdest things have been happening to me in my life.
And not just given because you're lucky, you work your buns off. Like you've been forging through. I feel like you've had to advocate, you've had to push through. Like nobody gives you anything. Also, I feel like everybody, when you move to Los Angeles, I live in Phoenix now, as you know, but I think moving there, everyone's just like, wow, LA, Hollywood. Like you're just on the Walk of Fame every day on the way to your office and just palm trees out of your office building, in which like some of that is true. I mean, we spent a lot of time on red carpets and with entertainment things.
Which is so unreal.
But it just seems like, like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs that you're like, oh, this is reality life. I mean, it's definitely fantasy life. But I think part of that is true, but a lot of it, moving to LA, especially like early 20s. I moved out there when I was 18 and it was just like a bitter pill to swallow. So there's like so much grit it takes, so much hard work, perseverance, advocating for yourself. Because like if you're not connecting and networking and just also like sifting through the BS to like make genuine connections with authentic people, it's so cool to be in a point where now in our late teens, in our late teens, we were teens of mid-30s, but now to see like the rising tide lifts all ships, and to be able to work with your friends and the people that you've been working with and cheering on for a decade plus, and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is so cool. This person is directing a movie, is producing a movie, is starring in a movie, just the entertainment industry is a wild, wild west of its own, but it is cool to be able to see your friends achieve their dreams. Like, absolutely. Oh my gosh, I am tearing up on the daily. Which doesn't say much. I mean, I'm a Pisces. I tear up at commercials sometimes.
But it has been cool to watch my loved ones forge their own path and kind of do that together. So that's been really fun.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, in the essence of like forging your own path, like, do you have a time that my personal brand is all about like asking for what you want? Like, my dad always said like, an open mouth gets fed. So it's like, did you describe a time where like asking for what you want or like advocating for yourself in that setting like paid off, you think?
Yeah, I always say that fortune favors the bold. So just ask. What's the worst that happens? They say no. You got to go out and ask, and you got to say, I'm actually great. And that's something I've had a really hard time doing. I have a little bit of imposter syndrome, and as much as I want to say, like, I'm incredible, you should hire me. I'm incredible. I should be able to work on this. It makes me feel like I'm being braggy. Yeah. And I don't want to come off as braggy. But I think my most recent job, getting that, I really did advocate for myself. I had learned a lot throughout my positions, from assistant all the way up. I've had, it's kind of an advantage to have worked all these jobs and learned everything from the bottom up. So when I went into this job, I was like, look how hard I hustled. Look at my resume. Look how far I've come in such a short amount of time. Like, I'm great. You need me working on these movies. Right? Like, oh, we do. And then, so I got the job, which was incredible. And I made sure that my boss knew I'm a huge nerd. Hi, McNulty. And I straight up asked, what movie can I help on? I had been there about a week. And I said, what movie can, you throw me on? I want to help out. I want to be a part of it. And they put me on my first DC Comics movie a week after I started at this job. And if I had casual, if I had started and just sat in my office and said, I'm going to take what comes to me, we'll see how this goes, I never would have had that. So the first time I opened my app and said, I think I'd really like to work on something. I'd really like to work on this. It paid off.
I'm sure everybody in your office was like, who does this new girl think
who's
she is?
This bitch?
She doesn't even go here. She's been here for 5 minutes. No, I love that. Yeah. I mean, because
I did have some experience that they didn't, because I took such a weird path. Yeah. So I'd been working on shows and working on production side of things for so long, when a lot of these people took the much more common path of going to law school, working at a law firm out of law school, and then coming into entertainment. So I'm this really weird person who's been working in entertainment for 10 years in all these different jobs. So I was able to hit the ground running in a way that a lot of them weren't. And I think my boss recognized that, because I said, look how great I am.
Yeah. Can I work in a movie? Look at all these various experiences I've had that I've bless the broken road that led me straight to you. I love that. I mean, I think it's uncomfortable to say how great you are. And I think like it's your superpower. I mean, and listen, we all, with the imposter syndrome, I am lucky to know some really powerful, cool women, which keep listening. You're going to hear from a lot of them, including you. And I think we go back and forth, like saying like, hello, imposter syndrome much. Like, I know you deserve to be here. Like,
I'm glad we have each other.
Of course.
Women definitely need people like that in their lives to say, absolutely not. Look at your accomplishments.
Demand that.
Demand it.
Yes.
And That's what I love about the matriarchy party. We're all here for each other and we have to like support each other because I don't think a lot of men have imposter syndrome.
No.
They just walk into the room, or maybe they do and they're just really good at hiding it. They just walk into the room and say, I can take the job on.
And probably because of all of the invisible labor the women around them have done to make them feel like that. No, we love men.
We do.
Men are great too. But
I have one at home.
Yeah. Get yourself one. It's great if that's what you want. But I just think that it is cool that when you do like just your power poses, which that brings me to my next question. But
sure.
When you're preparing yourself and you're psyching yourself out, like whether it's an interview, if it's like a job opportunity, it's that meeting. I mean, I remember that you wanted to put a meeting on a very important person at your company's schedule. I remember prepping for that.
Yeah.
And you got the meeting so effortlessly because
unreal.
You're talented, brilliant, powerful, and you ask for what you want.
No, you know why I got it? It's because what I do to prepare is talk to the group chat that I have. I know my girls are going to hype me up.
Get yourself a group
chat.
chat.
And a guy or two. Like, get yourself a girl group chat. It's
sometimes, I mean, muted
sometimes
if
it's annoying.
It's a lot, but that's okay. It's just a safe place.
But it's honest to God, it is a safe place because I get the most hype out of that group chat.
Yeah.
And I laugh because you guys hype me up. You're like, no, look at this. You do this. You can do that. You've done this. This is nothing. And I walk in going, yeah,
you're right.
You know what? Oh God, thank God for these women because that's what gets me hyped up. I have a very hard time hyping myself up. Like you were saying, the power poses, like doing like the Superwoman power pose in the mirror. That works for a lot of people, but it doesn't because I can't get out of my head. So I need you guys to help me get out of my head. And you absolutely do.
Well, and I think having friends that allow you to be vulnerable and allow you to like brag on yourself, like that feels like a safe place. You can be like, is this sick or what? Look what I just got. And be able to just gush about it if you don't feel comfortable on social media or in the public. Like, I feel like you catch up with people and you're in a setting and you're like, yeah, you know, everything's good, business as usual. And you don't want to be like, and then I did this and I crushed this and then you wouldn't believe this and I got this award and I got nominated for this.
Because it feels braggy.
It feels braggy. But like, you got to push through it and just like celebrate yourself, celebrate the people around you. Nobody gets enough compliments. Just keep it. Compliment yourself. Compliment your people that you love, that you are in awe of. Mm-hmm. Nobody, and I mean, I work with a lot of people in the public eye. Nobody is ever confident all the time. And nobody is ever getting enough compliments. Even though the people that you're like, these people are in magazines and movie stars and everybody is insecure and second guessing what they're doing. So when all else fails,
we're all human.
Just hype each other up.
Yeah.
When the compliment is like validated. But it's great to have a group chat to just be like, yeah, isn't this amazing? And then you can kind of just let your guard down. You don't need to worry about how you're perceived because they're your true, authentic friends. But yeah, that was my next question was how do you prepare for something scary? So not power poses?
Power poses, but usually it's just to make me giggle. It's not to do it. It doesn't really help in any way. I guess
I love a Wonder Woman power pose. It just
spells a little bit of the jitters.
Yeah.
But I feel like I make my friends give me pep talks and that's what gets me.
We have anxieties about different parts of the process. So...
But it's good. So you might be nervous about something that I couldn't care less about, or that not that I couldn't care less about. It's a little bit easier for me. And there's other things that come much more easy to, like getting in a room with someone you've never met and absolutely wowing them immediately. Everyone that walks out of a room with you loves you, and you just have that talent. That is a talent, and I feel like that's not a talent that I have. So
thank you. That's nice.
Yeah. So you hype me up, and you make me feel like the person that can walk into the room and wow them and make them fall in love with me. And then they get to know me and they're like, but at least I win. At least I can win them in the room because of you.
You can win everybody. Are you kidding? I think just as like there's two sets of twins in my family, which you may not know there's a lot of kids. So I just had to like put on the Ritz for like since a long time, like to get a word in edgewise.
Pay attention to me.
Hello. I'm the oldest daughter. I'm gonna roll these three. So I don't know, maybe that's we're working in retail many years, being able to connect with anybody on Black Friday. You know what? It's a superpower now. So thank you for saying that. Okay. Let's get into your matriarch. Tell me about them.
So my matriarch is my mom. And I'm so blessed to be able to say that. I know a lot of people either aren't close with their moms or don't have their moms in their lives anymore, especially as we get older.
Complicated.
Complicated relationships. People pass away. As I'm growing up, if I'll ever grow up. But as I'm growing up, I'm becoming very thankful that my matriarch, my mom, is still with me. She really is the matriarch now because my grandparents have passed away. My great aunt's passed away. She is the matriarch.
She is. Well, and she's so young.
Yeah, my parents are
But
very
like,
young.
you know what? Life's too short. You never know. Like anything can happen. So it is so awesome.
Yeah.
She is here and you have such a close relationship. I'm interested because I think this is fascinating. Did you always have a close relationship in your childhood and teens? Or was there like, were you like, oh God, I was such a bratty high schooler and now I feel like we have a closer relationship than ever? I mean, because for me, I don't feel like until, like, again, we're still growing up. We're still just teens, like I said. Anyways, I think that now seeing like, oh my gosh, the sacrifice and the things they did, like that now being an adult and trying to do adult things, you're like, I never gave them enough credit. So I feel like the teenage relationship's complicated, but yeah, I'd love to hear.
Yeah, teenage relationships, it was awful. The hormones and going through so much as a kid. I was very lucky to have my mom. Growing up, she got me into horseback riding. So at least once a week, we would go up to the barn and horseback ride.
Oh, just the two of you?
Yeah, with just the two of us.
That's so
and,
nice.
you know, there'd be other people there, but they were barn people. And that was like our thing. My mom and I always had the barn. We always went horseback riding. Most people, this is the most ridiculous thing I'm going to say on this podcast, but younger people, when they turn 16, will get a car, and that'll be like the most incredible thing. When I turned 16, my mom bought herself a horse and, said it was mine too. So basically I got a horse when I turned 16.
That's so nice.
Yeah, so horses were really our thing. It was our
little Sebastian.
So we were really close. Little Sebastian. So we were really close. And then of course, high school hit, hormones. I hated my mother. Of course I loved her.
Why do we do that?
Why?
I know. It's awful.
I was
But you think you know everything when you're 15 and you're...
Yeah. And became, during college, we got close again because I was an adult. I spent my 21st birthday at dinner with my parents. I've always been super close with my parents, as much as they want to kill me and I want to kill them. And then I moved out here and we grew apart. And I spent 10 years growing away from my mother, not growing away from her, but growing myself 3,000 miles from where she is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it was really hard for her to witness my growth. So, she lives out here now and it's two different people trying to get to know each other in a completely different way. And it's been interesting.
I'm sure that's been like,
yeah.
I mean, because you have your relationship as a child in the house and then your relationship fleeing the nest and probably her relearning who she was. Like, I mean, parents that are then empty nesters, I can't imagine after 20 years of your whole life revolves around your child.
Yeah.
And then being able to like reassociate, like as an adult, you're like, oh, this is a whole new person. Like we're both whole new people that we have to get to like boundaries. We get to have like hard conversations.
Oh, it's been tough.
I'm sure.
And we've actually had to have those hard conversations where I just explained to her, I don't need perfection from people in my life. I just want people to try. I just want kindness from my family. And, I don't really appreciate a lot of the joking that I used to appreciate when I was a kid.
I get that.
It would roll off my back. Ha ha, funny. But now it's like, I expect kindness.
I don't think that's funny. And that's okay to say like, maybe that was funny when I didn't know you any better, but now I've had some trauma.
Right.
I don't want
now
that anymore.
I'm an adult. So that's been interesting for kind of her to see me grow that way and realize, oh God, she is 30 something years old. So I need to figure out how to have a relationship with her as an adult.
Yeah.
It's been interesting.
Did you feel like, what did she do for work? Like, was she always very present in your life? Or?
Oh God, yeah. Both of my parents have been around forever. My mother dropped out of college to have my brother. Well, had my brother and, had to drop out of college to support her family.
What was she going to school for?
She was going to school for marketing. She used to tell me about like these really cool classes she took, and she was so into it. Of course, looking back now, it absolutely breaks my heart that she had to leave school to raise a family. But my dad was in school part-time and was working full-time. So my mother really had no choice but to become the matriarchy of her little family. Yeah. And it always bummed me out. Like, why didn't you finish school? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why wouldn't you go back?
You had no idea.
I was so resentful. And now looking back, I'm like, you deserve some medals, some awards, accolades.
Giant checks.
Yeah. So she was always around. We had family dinner every single night. Every single night. Yeah, she cooked. She prepped a lot of meals like earlier in the week, and then we would have lasagna, chicken this, all throughout the week. My dad
chicken
would chicken this, chicken that. I don't know. She used to make a lot of chicken dishes.
Mom's making chicken. I love it.
But yeah, she really...
That takes so much time. I mean, now like, we're like
I know.
Cooking isn't our number one hobby, either of us. So I feel like now knowing I'm like how many meals the women were.
And she worked full time too, by the way. Like when I was growing up, my mom worked full time.
So what was she doing for work then?
She worked at a local hospital. She jumped on from different department to department.
A stressful
but she
job.
worked, and she worked in the hospital until the day she retired. So she, learned new stuff all the time, and
very committed woman, it sounds like.
Yeah. She's very committed. Been married to my dad for 40 something years.
Wow.
I know.
Well, what a matriarch.
She is a matriarch.
What a woman. Do you feel like you're a lot alike? Like, is there anything, obviously not career-wise, you're following the footsteps specifically, but like, do you feel like, oh gosh, we're alike in this area, or we're opposite in other areas?
I used to think I was very different from my mother because I was like, ugh, that's not going to be me. I'm not going to have kids and miss out on opportunities for me. So I guess in a way, thanks for motivating me, Mom. But I think I'm a lot like my mom in the sense that I just want everyone to get along and be nice and have a good time. And again, that's hard to do when we're all adults. We all have our different personalities and everything. But I'll be puttering around the house and something will happen and I will open my mouth and my mother will come out. It's so funny to go from like someone, like I said, I resented her. I was a kid and I couldn't stand her for years. I loved her to death. But to go from that to sounding exactly like her, I think we all say, I'm never going to be like my mom.
Oh my gosh.
And then
I'm forging my own path.
We inevitably, Well, I have a
I do
different
that all the time that I'm like, oh, Kim, she came out.
Yep.
Where'd she come from?
Liz, where the hell did you come from? Like, if I did forge my own path, I'm completely different, but I am my mother's daughter without a doubt.
Yeah. Genetics are there.
Yeah. Oh, they're there. There was nature and nurture because that bitch was always around. So I turned into her.
What do you think her biggest dream or goal or like the defining moments of her life have been so far?
I do think that my mother loved having me and my brother. She had my brother first. He came 4 years before me. So I think the fact that they had me indicated that they liked the whole kid thing. They wanted a boy and a girl, so they got
so the whole thing again.
So I do think that she really did love being a mother, and I think she loved helping my dad achieve his dreams of becoming a lawyer and getting the career he wanted.
Because your dad's a lawyer too.
My dad is a lawyer.
In what field or like in what?
He was in
focus.
He was a U.S. attorney, so he was a prosecutor. So I went the complete opposite direction.
Yeah,
let's go work in movies.
Keep it light.
So she really was. She was our support system for so long. I hate to think of what she sacrificed, but I really do think that having kids was a defining moment of her life.
And loved being a mom. It seemed like.
Yeah, and she was good at it. She really was. She still is good at it. I don't
You're
need
still being mothered in your 30s.
As much as I say, like, I'm not, I don't need to be mothered.
Our matriarch.
Yeah. And I think another defining moment was when she officially, was able to say that she's in remission from cancer. My mom went through really, really aggressive uterine cancer.
Oh my gosh. How long ago was that?
I had only been out here for a couple of years. So it was really hard. I love how I'm turning it into me. It was really hard for me to be out here.
No, but I mean, like, away, you're just starting your career across the world, and your mom's going through that. Like, obviously, it's horrific for both of you.
Yeah.
But like, oh my gosh.
So that was. I feel like she powered through. She really did. And my dad even said, she was there for me for so much of my life, and it was like he loved the fact that he could be there for her, like as much as she was.
Return the favor in a way of like support.
Yep. And it's just the winter seemed to getting colder, and they're not getting any younger. So my mom wanted to move somewhere warmer. And my dad's like, yes, Sunshine. Let's go. So here they are. They're in Orange County. So, she's just been so freaking strong my entire life. It's just funny to look back at it. And
well, you're a very resilient person. So that doesn't surprise me at all that like you are a lot alike in a way that if you want something, you push through and you get the thing. Or if you are committed to something, you're your whole ass.
Yeah, you're in.
So it sounds like, is that the thing you most admire about your mom, or what do you admire most about her?
Yes, I admire so much that she sacrificed a lot to have a family. And not only to have a family, because I feel like anyone can technically have a family, but support the hell out of that family.
Yeah.
Sacrificed a lot, worked her, 9-to-5 job, and then came home and worked her mom job.
Just another full-time job.
Oh my God.
it's crazy.
I get home from work and all I want to do is sit on the couch. My husband's like, can you maybe like clean a dish once in a while? And I'm like, no. So I can't imagine like working a full job and then having to take care of other humans. Couldn't be.
Couldn't be me. I feel like, and I don't want to interject too hard, but I think like it's not lost on me the privilege of being able to make the choice to not have to be a parent if me and Sanford don't want to do that because of like, that wasn't necessarily in the 80s, just like an easy choice. Like, I mean, and way far before that and still now in a lot of parts of the world of just, these are the path that this is what you do. You go to school, you find a partner, you have a baby, you have the family, and it's like the white picket fence family that we were all told. So now as much as we're like, oh, kids, not for me. Like it is not, I just want to interject. So many of my girlfriends, my twin brother have babies, and I just see the work that parents do. And it is, being a dog mom seems to be taking up so much of my time. I have very high maintenance for children. But I just think, the privilege is not lost on me that
we can choose
to not and have an amazing, fun, full life with friends and with our husband so I'm like, anytime we're talking about it and we're joking about it, we know the context of we're like, I could never do it. Like I'm not strong enough.
Yeah.
I need 9 hours of sleep a night.
I can admit that.
I want to come home and pet the dog and like lay flat.
I'm far too selfish to do that.
Yeah.
And so like, look at my mom, how selfless she had to be to have a kid and do that. 100%. And then decide, I'm going to have another kid and do this even more.
Double duty, baby on each arm. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Moms, you're amazing.
I don't
Grandma's
get it. I really
super helpful. And where do they get these skills too? Like they're just,
I don't know. Like luckily my mom did have, like I said, her mom and her mom's
matriarchs
sister
of her own.
She really did. She had two very strong matriarchs. One who went to school, didn't have children, didn't get married, and, focused on her career and on her nieces and nephews and, her community that way. And then, her mom who not only had her own kids, but adopted a couple kids too. And, really made that her thing. So my mom had, I think she had a good example of both, someone who sacrificed her family to work. Well, maybe she didn't sacrifice because she didn't want one. So one who didn't have a family and worked instead. And then the other one who, had the family. So she
kind of see what path she wanted to take.
Yeah. Yep. So she definitely had the matriarchs too.
Do you think that your mom had any sort of, I mean, obviously 2 working parents, busy children, you have to have a routine to like just get dinner on the table. But did she have any kind of like personal routine of like for herself or like, she always, maybe it was the horseback riding once a week with you or?
Yeah. I think that was her thing. That was her escape. Not that she needed to escape, but you know what I mean. You shut your mind
decompress.
Up. Yeah, when you get on a horse, I don't know if you or any of your listeners horseback ride. When you can't be worried about your job or if dinner's going to be okay tonight. You really can't because you're piloting a 1,200-pound animal around it. It forces you to shut your mind off, and I definitely get that from my mom. That was something that she did for my entire childhood. She still loves horses. So that was part of her routine was get up to the barn and just.
I love that.
Yeah, she really did step away, and I'm very happy that she had that opportunity to step away from the house. And
well, now I mean, I think in our lifestyle of going from the tiny screen to the medium screen to the large screen back to the tiny screen, like we're electronics everywhere. It's so important to have a hobby. For me, I found that's not or anything a way to recharge that doesn't involve a screen.
Yeah.
So like I think that is. To be able to, you can only focus on that thing. You cannot be multitasking. It's like you have to do that. So that's so cool that it was horseback riding. For somebody who's from Arizona, which everybody thinks it's tumbleweeds and saloon doors and like, hello, Miss Lady. Like I haven't done a lot of horseback riding, but maybe we'll change that. What's one word to describe your matriarch?
I was going to go with badass. That sounds cheap. So resilient?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with resilient. She's had a lot thrown at her. Sacrificed a lot. And worked really hard. And, always bounced back. And yeah.
That's why you're such a strong woman. You had that modeled behavior.
Yeah. Yeah, I modeled, like, as much as I say I'm not like my mom, I did model a lot of my life after her for a pretty long time.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We want to be like our heroes, right?
Yeah.
So
For sure.
What's the best advice that you've ever received or something that stuck with you that your mom told you?
Her mother, my grandmother, got sick. She had brain cancer. And, it was very easy to get upset, and it's very easy to get mad. She had to go into hospice and all this stuff. It was very easy to just get angry or upset. And my mom would just say, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. This is what we have to deal with. And so let's just deal with it. Like, okay, there's nothing we can change, so let's just kind of deal with it. And watching her take care of her mother and deal with that whole thing was inspiring, I guess. I really hope I could be there for my mom and the way that she was there for her. So it is what it is.
Wow.
Just take everything. It is what it is.
Yeah. And I get that. I always say control your controllables, because I feel like, okay, we could spiral about the what ifs, but like, this is what we got to do, and so we got to push through. So that is good advice.
Yeah. And it's very easy for me to not to brush things off that could make me go down a rabbit hole.
Sure.
Because I just say, it is what it is.
You're just like, okay.
Just got to deal with it.
What's the next step?
Yep.
Let's just take it 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. We have a little rapid fire here.
Okay, here we go.
Is there a song, phrase, beauty tip, piece of jewelry that makes you think of your matriarch?
Yes. On my mom's side of the family, everyone that turns 15, I think it was 15, gets a signet ring, a ring with our initials on it. First initial.
Oh, I've seen yours.
Yeah, there's first initial, last initial, middle initial. My grandmother had one, my great aunt, my mom, her sister, and I got one. So recently my mom moved out here and she was going through all of her old stuff. So she found her mother's, hers, and I had actually still been wearing mine. So she gave them both to me. So now I have all three of generation signet rings on a necklace. So that makes
so special.
Yeah, that makes me think of my mom. Oh yeah, so I get to think of all of them. All the matriarchies in my family around my neck.
I love that.
Yeah.
Matriarchs on your... I was going to say something clever, but
nah.
You know what? Matriarchs on the neck. I was going to ask, do you have like a thing that you do together, or like a show you watch, or something you always do? But it sounds like maybe that's horseback riding.
Yeah, every time I horseback ride, I think of my mom. Every time I go, I have my instructor take a little video of me jumping, or I'll take a video of me saying hi to the horse for her, or, just here's a video of the property today. It's beautiful. Wish you were here. So every time I horseback ride or I'm around horses, I think of my mom.
Love that. Well, and I was going to ask, how do you recharge, and how does your matriarch recharge now?
Now it's a little different. The barn isn't 20 minutes down the street. We don't have our own horse. And so things are a little bit different. I think she loves recharging in the sun. She's like I get this from her. I really do. She's like a little lizard, like just laying in the sun, basking in the sun, glass of wine, hanging in the backyard, reading or playing on her phone, just kind of zoning out. And I love to do the same thing. I mean, I can just bake in the sun for hours and love it.
Vitamin D, dog, cocktail.
Oh yeah.
Doom scroll.
What else do you need? I also love just tuning out and watching TV. Like I can plop down on the couch and watch TV for hours and hours.
Oh, yeah,
and my mom,
binge
I love a binge. But my mom watches these, like the murder documentaries and like the murder shows, like Forensic Files and How to Catch a Murderer and Murder.
It's good. Somebody in your life is so well versed. In case you ever come into,
if I go missing, my mom will know what to do, where to look.
In your ass very quickly.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, you're throwing a dinner party and everyone's arriving in an hour.
Oy.
This is the unexpected dinner party. What are you serving?
I am serving something that I can order that will be there within an hour.
I love that. Takeout, baby.
Yeah. My mother always has like frozen meals. Like she'll make a lasagna and freeze it on Sunday in case one night that week they want lasagna. And she'll have like this dish frozen. So I know if my mother had a dinner party that she had to throw, she'd be fine. Let me just defrost this. I'll whip up this, salad, and we'll have this bread toasted. Like she's been like that forever. So
because moms, where did they get the handbook? I didn't get it. I'm like, we're calling the grocery store, or is everybody cool with pizza? I feel like I love that.
That's my jam. Like, let's order.
But I feel like the older I get, then I'm like, stop overthinking that. Just everybody wants to see you and be with you. So like,
absolutely,
food and drinks are on the table. Just come as you are,
Yeah.
Beauty product or like tip that maybe your mom used forever, or like.
Yeah. So growing up, I don't remember my mom being obsessed with like makeup or fashion or anything like that. Not that she looked like a bum. I just mean like it wasn't her thing. Like she effortless, you know? She didn't put a lot of time and energy into it. She's really laid back. She's a low maintenance woman. I dig that about her. So she never had like a huge skincare routine that I noticed that I needed to take on. She never really cared about like the brand of clothes she had. But she did love getting her hair done. Like she always got her hair colored and cut. And I think I took after her in that way. Like my hair is not naturally blonde, people.
It's just in hot off the press.
Yeah. So I get definitely,
especially after losing her hair, I imagine like hair was even more.
Yeah. So I think
important.
that sucked, you know, because she did used to get her hair done a lot, but it grew back and now it's just like beautiful salt and pepper silver, and she doesn't get it colored anymore. And it's going to the point where she needs to get it cut all the time now. So I think that's nice that she gets to have that part of her identity back, because she really did always have like short, dark brown hair. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, final question.
Mm-hmm.
If you could say anything to Liz, your matriarch, what would it be? Can we give her a little call?
My mom is like, she's a busy bee. Like she's retired, but she always finds something to do. Like
she's going to be out.
I'm running
in the
this
sun.
errand. I'm walking around the neighborhood with this person. I'm sitting in the sun with a glass of wine. Leave me alone.
Okay.
So we'll
see.
We'll
Fingers
try.
crossed.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Let's give it a whirl.
Yes. Hello again.
Oh, hi, Ma.
First ring.
Yay. Look at that. She loves me.
Oh, that's so nice. Liz,
hi, Courtney. Courtney.
Hi, Courtney. I haven't met in person yet, but you're live. You're on a podcast, and I'm forcing your daughter to tell you everything that's on her mind.
Yeah, it's like therapy.
Yes.
But cheaper.
Oh, okay.
So the name of the podcast.
Wow. I don't know who it's cheaper for.
I know. Me. You're going to have to go to a lot of therapy after this. No. So the name of the podcast is Matriarchy Party, and everyone talks about like the matriarchs in their family, whether it's like the typical mother or if it's like an aunt or, you know, if they're the matriarch of their family. I mean, she has some people come in with their moms and they talk about, you know, living in this woman's matriarchy and all that. And
surprise, you're the matriarch.
Yeah, you're the matriarch now. Sorry.
Yes, I am.
What a role.
So the question is
by default.
By default.
Yeah, in the actual form. So the question is if Courtney could say anything to her matriarch, what it would be, and that's why you're on the phone. Because she wants to say.
Okay.
Yeah, because how blessed am I that like, ew, I'm getting teary-eyed.
Oh, well, listen, it comes by default. You know, the oldest woman in the family takes over the role. And it makes my heart feel good that you feel that way.
I know, I'm so lucky that I have a matriarch around.
Yes.
Oh.
I miss mine.
I know.
I miss mine.
Me too.
Hopefully I'm going to be around for a long time.
Yes, it's just the beginning, right?
Yeah. And she lives so close now. It has to be
so
up there
happy
for her.
Well, thank you for doing such an amazing job of being resilient and such a strong woman leader for my best friend here. And
that's nice.
I can't wait to meet you.
I've got the support of my family and my friends, and without that, I couldn't be the strong person that I am.
That's what I said. I was like, my parents are the best.
So alike.
She said, what's one thing that you would say if you could? I was like, well, I can say it. And she's like, let's call her. I was like, here we go.
I don't need therapy. I'm good.
I do. So the one thing I was going to say is thank you for the sacrifices. Now, we were talking about like not having children and, the choice not to have kids. And I used to look at it like, ew, she had kids. Ew, she gave up so much. I'm never going to do that. Why would she leave school? That's so stupid. And as I get older and older, I'm realizing, oh my God, it's not that she just left school. It's not that she just like decided to have a family. These were sacrifices that you had to make. And
everyone makes them. And
I will not come anywhere near making the sacrifices that you had to make. It's just not possible. I have.
So selfless.
Yeah. I don't have to support a husband and a crazy career dream and work full time and have 2 kids. Like there were just sacrifices I will never have to make. And that I never realized you had to make them until I got older. And I used to be such a young piece of shit and being like, ugh, my mom didn't finish school. How stupid. And now
you did you really feel that way?
No. Of course I loved you. I was just like, I don't want that life. Like, gross.
No.
And I could never
And
handle that.
I totally respect you for making that decision, and it's not for you.
Yeah.
And that's a big sacrifice too. I mean, you have to choose. Do I have children or do I not have children? And the people, that don't have children, that they're strong people because they're kind of going against the norm. And they know what their lifestyle is. They know what they want. Yeah. I knew what I wanted. Yeah. I was pretty settled into being, even though my mom worked, 2 jobs and all of that, I was pretty set in knowing that this is what I want to do. I want to raise children. I want to support my husband.
You're so good at it.
Sacrifices.
So effortless.
Oh,
so
wow. Thank
good
you.
at it. It wasn't effort. She made it seem.
You made it seem effortless.
Yeah. I mean, good God.
Well, thank you so much for picking up the phone.
Thanks.
That was so sweet.
Sorry, I'm crying on the phone with you.
We love it. Oh my gosh.
Good.
Well, thank you. I'm going to meet you in person very soon. Happy Friday.
Oh, I hope so.
Yay.
Okay.
All right, I love you. Thank you.
All right. Love you guys. Have fun.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, man.
I never thought of it like that.
Oh, my gosh. It's so sweet. Well, thanks, everybody, for listening. Hope you're crying, too. Thanks so much for being here. If you want to see more of Courtney, go to @Courtney McNulty on Instagram, and you'll see all the fun things that she's up to and her being a badass.
I don't cry all the time.
And she's never crying, so this is a really inside scoop here. But thank you. Have a great week.